In the underground world of dogfighting, it has become a growing trend to publicly brag and seek attention, but more often than none, it turns to the type of attention that is unwanted. Thousands of people across the world participate in this barbaric sport daily. It's a billion-dollar industry and everyone wants in. After 2007, it became a felony offense in the United States to participate in any event, sell, transport, or own an American Pit Bull Terrier for fighting. There's an average of 20 to 30 different dogfighting arrests each year between 2022 and 2024. This year of 2025 is on track with the going average. If it stays on the pace it's headed. In 2024, the U.S. federal government dropped a bunker-busting bomb on the underworld when they raid the infamous Royal Bull Kennels, owned by Hollywood, aka Bruce Lau Jr. Over 100 dogs were confiscated, as well as drugs and money. Listen to him brag about fighting dogs in this short clip.
Hollywood. I am motherfucking Hollywood. That's a fact, Jack. You motherfuckers talking about who this Hollywood and that Hollywood. Everybody that knows already stood the fuck up. You know what I'm saying? My man Snakes, Just Blaze, Manny, Ross, numerous other ones. That's Hollywood. And boom, I suspect that you should try to keep your foot on my neck. That's what I'm going to do. I'm not bringing one to lose, just like you ain't bringing one to lose. Shit, what we in this for? To give them away?
This is a good example of when keeping it real goes wrong. This is an example of what the government plans to do to anyone they know is engaging in the activities. This short film is how one dogfighter got himself in between a rock and a hard place due to his own mistakes, his own ignorance, his own ego. It all started from information that led to an investigation sometime in the early 2020s. After gathering enough evidence to make their case, authorities made their move. This is the breaking news announcements hours after the raid.
Execution of an alleged dogfighting operation in what we believe is the largest dogfighting ring ever busted in the state of New Jersey. We're continuing to gather evidence in the case, and more information will become available as this case moves through the criminal justice process. Given the ongoing nature of the investigation, there may be some questions today that we cannot answer. But after all our speakers have made their remarks and have had an opportunity to share their thoughts, we'll take whatever questions and answer whatever we can. On Wednesday, April 3rd, investigators from the Division of Criminal Justice and the New Jersey State Police executed search warrants at 2 properties in Cumberland County and at a home in Atlantic County in connection with an alleged dogfighting network operation that was operating in Cumberland County. Members of the New Jersey State Police Teams Unit arrived before dawn to secure the property so that a team of animal care specialists could confirm the nature of the activity at the location, examine the dogs, and relocate them to safety. This formidable and heart-wrenching task unfolded throughout the day in pouring rain, and we cannot thank the individuals involved in this operation enough. They're true heroes, and I'm sure they went home or to hotel rooms to warm up and get a well-deserved rest, knowing that through their actions, more than 120 abused and neglected dogs were spending their first nights in safety and comfort. Dogfighting is illegal in New Jersey, both for spectators and for operators. Dogfighting is a cruel and barbaric practice that must never be tolerated. And make no mistake, in New Jersey, our law enforcement agencies are committed to investigating reports of dogfighting and to bringing perpetrators to justice. Wednesday's searches and subsequent arrests of 8 individuals allegedly involved in this dogfighting operation are the result of an extensive investigation into 2 businesses at the compound: Royal Bull Kennels, LLC, a dog breeding business, and Kister Group, LLC, a construction business. While these businesses provided a front, the Royal Bull Kennels, or RBK, was quite simply in the business of buying and selling fighting dogs for profit and taking substantial stud fees from other breeders to breed their dogs with RBK's dogs. The Director of the Division of Criminal Justice, Stephen Furketic, will elaborate on the charges in a few moments, and a complete list of charges will be shared. While all defendants enjoy the presumption of innocence, the dogs found on the property this week tell their own stories. More than 100 dogs were found at the Maurice Township compound. Based on the evidence collected, these dogs were often tortured and abused to an unimaginable degree. We know that on multiple instances, dogs were strapped to an ATV and forced to run at speeds as high as 14 miles an hour, often for long periods of time, in at least one instance, even exceeding an hour. All of this was done so that these dogs would be prepared to fight to their deaths, just so that the perpetrators of these acts could line their profits. What other hell these dogs endured, I honestly don't even dare to imagine. For many, dogs are more than just pets. There are companions who deliver unconditional love. I know in my house, my dog Toby is the first family member I see every morning. When I get up at the crack of dawn, he's there. When I get home after a long day's work, he's there. No matter what's happening in my life, he brings a smile to my face. You probably all know the old quote from President Truman, "If you want a friend in Washington, get a dog." That rings very true in my house. And I simply cannot fathom how someone could hurt an animal so loving. Even these dogs, who were certainly not treated and loved as companion animals, greeted the law enforcement officers and staff from the Humane Society with wagging tails. It is our responsibility in law enforcement to protect the most vulnerable of our society, not merely for their sake, but for ours as well. My deepest thanks go to the many agencies that played a role in this investigation and this week's operation. As always, the New Jersey State Police, under the leadership of Colonel Patrick Callahan, helped lead this investigation and the operation this week. A special thanks to Detective Dominic Cartuccio, Detective Sergeant Adam DeChico, Detective Sergeant First Class George Augie for their roles in this effort. Support was also provided, and I'm grateful for the United States Department of Agriculture. And I also want to recognize the team at the Division of Criminal Justice who have been working tirelessly on this case under the leadership of Director Furketic. In particular, AAG and Deputy Director Eric Dabb, DAG Heather Hausleben, who is prosecuting this case, and DAG Andre Arojo, who is handling the forfeiture of the seized property. We also, and I personally want to cannot thank enough, the Humane Society of the United States for being on site and for caring for the dogs seized on Wednesday. Humane Society team members were on site throughout the execution of the search warrant. The team included 3 veterinarians who evaluated the conditions of the dogs and administered care as needed. This team transported the animals to safe locations where they will be temporarily housed. As these animals receive the care they deserve, we know there are many more across the nation in the same situation. They're living lives of pain and agony for someone else's profits. I encourage everyone to help us end this nightmare so that far too many animals endure each day. If you suspect dogfighting or abuse or neglect, please contact your local law enforcement. As we're showing today, we will act on it. It is ultimately up to us to speak for all of those in our communities who cannot speak for themselves, and that includes the animals we all love so dearly. Again, I want to thank everyone who assisted in this effort and those who continue to support the dogs that were rescued. It's now my honor to turn the podium over to the Colonel and Superintendent of the State Police, Patrick Callahan.
Thanks, General. I'll be brief and echo some of the Attorney General's remarks here. I think a lot of times when those around the state or country think about law enforcement operations, they think about our efforts in reduction of gun violence, of auto theft, of fentanyl overdoses. So in this instance, it certainly serves as a tremendous source of pride for me as a trooper and certainly as a dog owner and dog lover. The efforts by 12 different agencies beyond the state police just shows that level of collaboration that I think a lot of the other states around this country look to us as to how we do that and how do we come against those greatest challenges. And what was, I think, more than a 2-year strategic investigation shows a tremendous amount of perseverance, a tremendous amount of compassion. So I thank you, certainly to George and Dominic and to the troops that were involved. I know the Attorney General mentioned the Humane Society of the United States. That's not an easy search warrant to execute, and to see those dogs go from a pouring rain status into a warm place does my heart well. To the AG's point, on a personal note, I had a rescue named Rudy Clyde, blue tick coonhound from Alabama. Sadly, had to put him down on St. Patty's Day 2 years ago, but my daughter brings their dog Jewel, my son brings their golden retriever. They never have to ask, can we bring the dog, Dad, because they are family. So this case, on a personal level, really does my heart well. From the state police, we had almost a dozen different units involved in this, and you think of the magnitude of what happened from a legal authority, 150 separate requests from communications data warrants, from grand jury subpoenas, search warrants, just an incredible amount of effort, and certainly to the support from the Division of Criminal Justice. It was not an easy investigation, and I know that from being briefed on it. But what it shows is that spirit of collaboration, and not doing it for a child, not doing it for an elderly person, but doing it for those greatest friends amongst us, for those dogs that now can have a life not of torture, but one of peace, and hopefully come into loving families and understand actually what it is to be loved by a different family member. So completely honored and humbled to be a part of what is the largest seizure and takedown of a dog fighting ring in the history of the state of New Jersey. So completely honored to be a part of it. Thank you.
Thanks, Colonel. As you were talking about that, I remember that St. Patrick's Day, and the Colonel's a pretty tough guy. I mean, you're not the superintendent of the state police if you're not, but not on that day. And I think we all can relate. It's now my honor to turn the podium over to the Director of the Division of Criminal Justice, Stephen Furketic.
Thank you, General. As has been stated today, today's charges are a result of a long-term, outstanding, collaborative law enforcement effort by the Division of Criminal Justice, the State Police, and by the many other partners that helped us out with the takedown that happened this week. We are so grateful to the Humane Society for their assistance in helping us care for the rescued dogs. We cannot thank you enough. And the criminal network that we have identified and charged with the crimes discussed today, they face significant penalties. Bruce Lowe Jr., age 44, of Millmay, New Jersey, the alleged leader of the conspiracy, faces 18 charges, including racketeering in the second degree, money laundering in the second degree, leading a dogfighting network, promoting organized crime, multiple counts of dogfighting, and animal cruelty. Lowe Jr.'s co-defendants include Terry Lowe, age 67, of Maurice River, Bryce Lowe, age 20, of Maurice River, Roosevelt Hart, 29, of Millmay, Coy Dickinson, age 58, of Maurice River, Travis Guerin, age 38, of Port Elizabeth, Mark Runkle, age 42, of Maurice River, and William McClinton, age 68, of Maurice River. Lowe Jr.'s co-defendants have been charged with racketeering in the second degree, and certain defendants have also been charged with money laundering in the second degree and dogfighting charges. Also charged, as mentioned before, are the entities that were owned and operated by members of the conspiracy, including Royal Bull Kennels and the construction company, the Kisdare Group. The potential penalties for these charges are significant. Second-degree charges carry a sentence of 5 to 10 years in state prison and a fine of up to $150,000. Third-degree charges carry a sentence of 3 to 5 years in prison and a fine of up to $15,000. Every day, the Division of Criminal Justice works across New Jersey, across county lines, to disrupt sophisticated criminal networks that are driving violence and harm across the state. And this case marks another success in our effort to carry out that mission. I cannot thank the members of the Division of Criminal Justice that worked tirelessly on this investigation over the past weeks and months the state police for being incredible partners in this, and their incredible efforts this week in terms of bringing this to a head and taking care of an extraordinarily challenging execution of a search warrant on Wednesday, and all.
It's been mentioned, and I mentioned it, and I want to just underscore again the incredible partnership we have with the Humane Society, and also reiterate how difficult this operation was, both at an operational level, but I think for many also at a personal level. I really want to thank the Humane Society for being there to provide the care for these animals that they deserved and they were too often denied. And to that end, I'd like to invite Adam Parascandola, the Vice President of Animal Rescue Team at the Humane Society of the United States, to the podium to share a few words.
Thank you. Thank you. Sorry. Well, I want to start out by thanking all of the agencies involved as well in this incredible operation, and we were honored to be asked to assist and to be a part of it. As you've heard, this was a significant undertaking for all of the agencies involved, and again, we are just really grateful to have been able to play a part of that. I'm sure most people would like to hear an update on the dogs, so I will give that. So the dogs, we removed them, obviously, on the day. It was pouring down rain, and as the Attorney General mentioned, one of the things that we were really struck by was that despite the fact that it was pouring down rain, many of the dogs were visibly shivering in the weather. They still came out of their shelters to come and greet us when we were coming up to remove them from the kennels, and that just speaks so strongly to the bond between dogs and people, and we need to honor that bond, and I think we're really excited that these dogs now will get the chance to live the life that we want and all dogs deserve to live, and that they will be now have a life where that bond is honored and they are allowed to live on people's couches and come inside their homes. And so they are currently at an undisclosed location. We are still going through doing more significant exams. We did triage exams on site, but many of these dogs needed x-rays and things like that for old injuries, untreated injuries, and obviously the treatment that has to come after that. So today, that's why many of my colleagues could not be here, because they are still going through those exams and helping to treat those dogs. But they are in a warm place. They all have comfortable bedding. They're getting toys. They're getting enrichment. And it's very rewarding to see them start to come out of their shell and really are excited just to spend time with people and have the attention that they need. So again, thank you very much for having us and inviting us to assist you in this case. And just a couple of words on dogfighting. Dogfighting is a really important issue to us. The dogs generally, typically in dogfighting situations, suffer horrendously. Even dogs that win fights often do not survive or have massive injuries from those fights, and the amount of cruelty and suffering involved in these endeavors for the dogs is really shocking. And so again, to know that these dogs now are safe and will not have to face any of that kind of cruelty from this point forward is just something everybody here should be proud of who worked on that. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Adam, to you and your colleagues, including all of the folks who are currently working with these dogs, as you mentioned. God bless them and thank them. I also neglected to, but want to also thank First Assistant Lindsay Rotolo, who worked extremely hard alongside the relevant agencies in prosecuting this case. As I said, this is an ongoing investigation, so there may be things we can't answer, but I'm happy to take any questions at this time.
Trying to get an idea of the reach of this investigation. When we've covered dogfighting rings before, they're usually always tied to drug trafficking, child pornography, a lot of other crimes. that something that you're still investigating, and that these defendants that currently are charged could face more charges for different crimes?
Yeah, as I said, this is an ongoing investigation, so I can't comment at all about potential further charges.
Could you say that, I mean, are you investigating more across the country that could be linked to this, or people that were buying the dogs, or are they under investigation too?
I can't comment on the nature of the investigation beyond what I've said so far. Thank you.
So since the USDA was there, that's federal, right? So, and you guys are the lead agency, but do you also, could they also face federal charges? Because are federal agencies involved too?
Again, we've announced the charges that we're announcing today, but as I said, this very much remains an ongoing investigation. And if anybody has any leads, we encourage you to please come forward.
As far as how long the investigation's been, you said, Colonel, a couple of years that it's been going on. We've heard from some animal advocacy groups in New Jersey. One of them said that they tipped off the FBI in 2021. So I'm wondering, you don't have to say who tipped them off, but I'm wondering if this investigation began from a tip.
Yeah, I can't comment on the nature of how the investigation started, but these investigations are complex, and I really want to commend the teams that worked for an extended period of time, pursuing every investigative lead to bring, as you just heard, against the alleged defendants.
I'll keep going. So another thing you may not be able to answer this, but I'll just ask, is that, Vineland, there's been ties to the Sinaloa cartel with drug trafficking down in that area. So there's rumors that the Sinaloa cartel, which is one of the most dangerous, terrifying cartels in the world, has connections to this.
Yeah, I'm going to disappoint you. And beyond what we've said, this is an ongoing investigation, so I can't comment further on any investigative leads, other than to say that, as I've said, anybody who has information that they think is relevant to this investigation, we encourage you to please come forward.
And as far as bail that they've received, and maybe I misunderstood it, but I thought that it read that they're able to be at home now, and they aren't allowed contact with pit bulls, but they're still allowed contact with animals. I was wondering if that's something that you already were.
Right. Again, based on the court's public safety recommendation, we agreed to certain conditions, including limitations on contact with animals and travel restrictions. But as the general said, we can't discuss this beyond that, as it's an ongoing prosecution.
Okay, but you did just say that you had limited access to animals. Did I understand that right?
The conditions include limitations on access to animals for the defendants. Yes.
So then that means there's still access to animals that they're allowed. They're just limited.
We can't discuss this beyond what we've set forth today in this prosecution. But that's all we can say for now.
I want to thank everybody again for their time and their effort to bring this very important case. And again, it's an ongoing investigation, and we will update you as appropriately. Thank you.
One of Royal Bull Kennel, a.k.a. Bruce Lowe Jr., co-defendants Coy Dickinson suspiciously passed away months after the raid, with some saying Royal Bull was involved. Needless to say, with federal conspiracy, racketeering, and dogfighting charges, Bruce continued to run a drug enterprise from his residence. A new investigation uncovered Lowe Jr. was importing an illegal opioid to America to be delivered to his house. A second raid was conducted at Bruce Lowe's property when he signed for a package, which was a controlled delivery by U.S. agents. He was again arrested, and many say Royal Bull, aka Bruce Lowe's troubles started when this video was seen by authorities and also found in his cell phone during the raid.
Beautiful morning out here. Motherfucking, I don't even know what today is. The 23rd of November. Hollywood. I am motherfucking Hollywood. That's a fact, Jack. You motherfuckers talking about who this Hollywood and that Hollywood. Everybody that knows already stood the fuck up. You know what I'm saying? My man Snakes, Just Blaze, Manny, Ross, numerous other ones. That's Hollywood. And boom, I suspect that you should try to keep your foot on my neck. That's what I'm going to do. I'm not bringing one to lose, just like you ain't bringing one to lose. Shit, what we in this for? To give them away? Not me, son. I'm coming down there to clean your motherfucking shit up, just like you're coming to clean my shit up. I would expect you to say that. But just for this, I don't know, this old head out of Virginia talking about he's Hollywood. Let me show you what the fuck Hollywood is, right? Hollywood's a rich motherfucker, Jack. That's a fact. I make about $300,000 a month legally can afford to keep these motherfucking dogs like I do. This might be one of the best setups in the country, but that don't mean shit. But it's also housing some of the best motherfucking bulldogs in the country. Full-time staff. Say what's up, Mark. How often are you here, Mark? How often are you here?
Every single day.
That's right. Taking care of dogs. Got some joker down in Virginia talking about I ain't the real Hollywood. Then telling me,
What?
he said, well, wait till I get a dog and then I'll show you. Motherfucker, we ain't gotta wait. We got them. They on deck. I got 5 hooked right now. Come on, we go over here. 5 hooked right now. 6 or 7 getting ready to call weights on. Gentlemen showing up for work. Good morning, gentlemen. Good morning. Morning. Yeah, I employ 16 people too. Full-time construction business. Look, this is Hollywood. Hollywood. Let me show you. There's 10 more kennels there. Another building. Trailer full of dog food, literally. Come on over here. I'll show you. Because y'all ain't non-believers. Non-believers. We got more Hollywood shit. Turn this heater off. What's up, Trav? How often are you here, Trav? Tell them again. These motherfuckers talking about we ain't real up here. This is what we do. Come on.
4 months straight.
Huh?
We're 4 months straight.
Yep. Look, it's more Hollywood shit. I got about $2,000 in collars that's just sitting there brand new. Get the fuck out of here. Come on, let me show you. Because y'all got me in my motherfucking bag talking about who's this and who's that. Get the fuck out of here. And oh, another thing that they said was true. You motherfuckers can't call a pot that I can't cover by myself. I bring it by my motherfucking self. Don't need help. Don't need nobody chipping in. Don't need nothing. There you go. There's 10 more. Oh yeah, I got 96 acres here. I just cleared another acre right there to put up 2 more buildings. That's Hollywood. That's what the fuck Hollywood is right there. Rich and motherfucking famous, baby. Nobody ever heard of you motherfucking joker ass. I don't even know who the fuck you are. And for that dude down in North Carolina talking about he got the real Cottingham dogs. Let me break it down for you. They're all off of a dog named Infamous, who I bred. Me. So thank you for doing good with a dog that I bred and making the bloodline famous. But me, that picture you see of me sitting in Durant Cottingham's living room holding Red Man in 1999, that's when I went down there and took Sheba and her sister, Eve, and bred them the Red Man. So yeah, thank you for doing good with my blood. However, I made that breed. Funny motherfucker. Enjoy your day. I'm gonna go count some millions. See you later.
A massive dogfighting operation last year. Today, investigators were once again searching the property, but this time amid allegations that the owner was dealing in drugs. Action News reporter Annie McCormick has the latest tonight.
The owner is already accused of being one of the top 5 dog breeders for dogfighting in the country. But authorities were back out here again, this time looking for drugs. 46-year-old Bruce Lowe Jr. is the center of another investigation. Chopper 6HG was over the scene as a search warrant was executed here in the 5300 block of Route 49 on Monday. Authorities searched this compound in Morris River Township, Cumberland County, looking for drugs. According to an affidavit, a package destined for the property from India was flagged by Customs and Border Patrol. Inside the package, over 6 kilograms of tapentadol was allegedly inside the parcel. Tapentadol is a powerful narcotic used for severe pain. But during the search, more was found, like morphine and packaging to sell drugs, plus large amounts of cash. Bruce Lowe Jr., known as Hollywood, his son Bryce, and mother Terry are already facing serious charges, including dogfighting, money laundering, and racketeering after the same compound was raided in April of 2024. In that investigation, an undercover officer gathered enough evidence to show Lowe Jr. was operating Royal Bull kennels to breed and sell dogs for dogfighting. Lowe Jr. is accused of being one of the top 5 dog-fighting breeders in the country. At least 100 dogs were found on the property. The family and several employees stand accused of torturing, beating, and in some cases killing the animals. In this latest bust, only Bruce Lowe Jr. was charged in connection with the drugs. Reporting in Morris River Township, Annie McCormick, Channel 6, Action News.
The government is ready to prove that anyone that follows in Bruce Lowe's tracks will end up in the same situation he is entangled in. The rise and fall of Royal Bull Kennels. You make the choice.